It's exciting. It's a blast from the past. I think that we first recorded this so many years ago because some of the audio from the pilot is from like the original shorter pilot that had a totally different story where there's popsicle sticks and jokes on the popsicle sticks, and it looked completely different. We haven't said these words for maybe 4 or 5 years. That's pretty exciting.
This is rewinding us all the way back to the very, very first episode of the series. We thought it would be fun to read a little bit from that original script. Suddenly, a golf cart crashes to the Gravity Falls sign and speeds through the forest. We see Dipper is driving and Mabel is the passenger. They seem to be fleeing from something.
Ah! It's getting closer!
A huge shadow. What I was trying to do with this show was to make something that would appeal to people kind of in my own age bracket. I wanted to make something that the scares would sometimes be actually scary, sometimes something that was multi-layered with hidden jokes and secret references and codes, and I honestly thought it would go over kids' heads, and it's not that I wasn't anticipating their intelligence, but I don't think I was anticipating the scope of their passion, and I was so pleasantly surprised. I had no idea that our audience would so rise to the challenge we set for them in terms of finding the mysteries and engaging with what we were setting up. Dipper looks around and starts flipping the switches on and off. A trapdoor in the music in the ground opens up right behind him where the goat was eating. Goat runs off.
The show is such a unique world and such a deep and immersive world. I thought it was just really inspiring, and I kind of worked hard to find early on some sounds that would make that would reflect that and be unique to the show.
I remember being in the room the first time with Alex. I was in New York, so it was over the phone doing the pilot, and Alex made me do the lines and scream so many times that I lost my voice. So I was like, I hope this thing doesn't take off, because I can't do this. And then all of a sudden, it's a hit.
I hadn't quite figured out what Dipper's voice was, so in the pilot it's a little bit more nasally. It'll probably actually sound more like Dipper today. Maybe they can take this audio and put it back at the pilot.
One kind of maybe less obvious moment that I never get tired of if I happen to see it on TV is in the episode Land Before Swine, when Grunkle Stan makes the decision to strap a pig to his back and leap into the air to punch a pterodactyl in the face. That's one of those things where, like, when you write that sentence as a writer, you're like, I've done it. I found the perfect television moment.
Did I ever tell you about one of the first times at Comic-Con where I saw like people cosplaying? I had my Dipper hat on, but no one really. I hadn't seen a lot of people yet. I had just gotten there, and I saw this couple who were probably like 18, 19, and they were dressed as Wendy and Robbie, and I went, hey, like, just like as a fan, like, look, I have like a thing. And Wendy went like, oh, cool, man. And the guy who was dressed as Robbie went. And I was like, and I felt so much like Dipper in that moment. I was like, come on, man, have some pat. Don't have to be cool. We both clearly like the same show.
Being ignored.
Zombie!
Interior Mystery Shack. When I very first pitched the show, I pitched it as, this thing has only a few seasons. It's a beginning, middle, and end. It's like a book with a certain number of chapters. It's one summer, and there's just a few big questions that have answers, and once they're answered, that's it. And that's how I presented it. When the first breath, it's a show, and here are the kids, and it's going to have an overarching mystery, and here's why. And everyone, I think, was compelled by that irrational confidence, and I don't think anyone really believed me, but they liked they liked that weird independent streak that I appeared to be showing, and they said, sure, let's give this a try.
It's to be honest, it's a little sad. I mean, it's bittersweet. It's very exciting. It's fun to see something come to a conclusion, as opposed to a lot of shows, especially shows that either get canceled before they get to finish, or sort of kind of get too stretched out. It's nice to have mysteries be answered and all these things like that, but I am gonna miss it. It was a lot of fun.
After I finish making a show, an episode I usually don't go back and watch, just because in order to make an episode you have to see it so many times. You watch it again and again and again and again and again. I could just quote these episodes with my eyes closed in my sleep, and you stop really seeing them anymore. And I realized, I think it might just now have been long enough that I can go back and watch it and maybe enjoy it as a fan for the first time. So I'm looking forward to that.
Watch the finale, It's really good, and don't be sad. Right?
No, watch it. Be sad.
or
It's
be
over.
sad.
Don't be sad.
Being sad is important. You
Yeah,
know,
feel
be
it.
sad and then be happy, and then buy journal number 3 in stores.